Well, hey, my name is Vip Vipperman, and I'm excited to be back. Today, my guest is Amy Bogue. I'm excited to hear a little bit of the things that have been going on in Amy's story, and excited to introduce her to you, the listener. Amy, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having me. Such an honor.
Yeah. Um, First off, where are you in the world?
We are in small town Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi.
All
About
right, all right.
60,000 people. Yeah.
There you go. I've been in Mississippi for football games before. Being a part of the SEC growing up in college, you got to go to at least one game in Mississippi. Good
Absolutely.
times. Well, excited to hear a little bit of your story today. Can you tell us just a little bit of your background and history and how you got to where you are?
Sure. I went to University of Alabama actually and got a nursing degree there. Went into the hospital field for about 10-ish years and we moved around a lot, corporate America, decided to come back home, have a family business that's almost 55 years old. And we just
Wow.
had a tiny medical component with pharmacies. And my granddad is an entrepreneur, and he said, "Well, you're a nurse. I'd like you to put a clinic next door to this pharmacy." And that is how I got my business degrey. I joke,
That's
I said
awesome.
I never made it back to school, but I got an MBA the hard knocks way. I
Yeah,
made a
no
lot of
kidding.
I made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money, learned what I was doing, or learned my skill set on the streets, if you will, and then now have grown to a successful business where I run 8 pharmacies, 6 clinics, and a med spa. And we have really enjoyed the process now. It was a hard road in the beginning, but I'm really enjoying the fruits of the work now.
That's awesome. So y'all built quite a system of companies. It's amazing, and I love the
Yes.
interplay. We always talk about ecosystems have so much power. If you get the pharmacy plus
Yes.
the clinics, all the things coming together, and they can just
Mhm.
refer to one another and that sort of thing, and help a whole lot of people. How many? I mean, just wild guess. I know you said it's a small town
Mhm.
in Mississippi, but how many customers do you think you guys serve in a year?
Oh, in a year, oh, with the pharmacies, that would be a lot. I know the clinic numbers, maybe 12 to 1500 a week, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Pharmacies, scripts, it'd be a couple thousand a week of the prescriptions, but I don't know breakdown of people. But it's a decent
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're talking about 50,000 plus people a year, like coming through the doors of the clinic. If it's 12 to
Right,
1,500 at least. Wow. So I
right.
mean, you're serving a significant portion of people, and it's just in your one town, or y'all in multiple towns
Well,
across
the
Mississippi?
majority, yeah, majority is in Mississippi. I do have 3 pharmacies in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, so that's fun to
Oh,
make it
okay.
over there. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Huh. I still can't believe the Mississippi girl got to go to college in Alabama, and
I
nobody
know.
in the family had a problem with that. Um,
We actually have deep roots. My grandparents went there. My parents met there. I grew up
okay.
going to Bama games, and we're just an hour away. My granddad is the one who got the our county to get in-state tuition at Alabama. So I was the
No
first
kidding.
one. Yeah, I was the first one to
That's all.
receive that benefit, and then it's still a thing today. So a lot of kids from Columbus will go over to Bama because they get in-state tuition. It's
Dude,
fun.
he was such an entrepreneurial guy. Like you're talking
Still
about not only
is.
the, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, no kidding. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Awesome.
fun. I didn't realize I enjoyed entrepreneurship as much as I did till I moved home. And we get to work together, and that's really special. He's 84, about to be 85, and we still do business together. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. What a
Hmm.
good. I know sometimes family dynamics in business can be challenging, but so encouraging to hear the moments when they work.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Mhm.
Well, hey, tell me a little bit about. I know the topic of the conversation today is around how business and human trafficking have connected. Tell me a little bit about how you started hearing about human trafficking and child exploitation.
Sure. Well, it started honestly with an employee maybe 3-ish years ago. Her brother went to jail, and her niece, she was around her. She started noticing some odd behavior, and come to find out, realized that the baby's mom was trafficking this child for money. And
Oh wow.
so she kind of explained the situation. There was a lot going on, and the clinic system wrapped their arms around her and helped her. And still, it's a work in progress. But get her out of that environment, get her help, and they're trying to adopt her. And so was kind of the first time like that opened my eyes to, my goodness, it's here in small town Mississippi. And
Yeah.
you hear the word human trafficking, and to be honest, I think we need a rebrand, because I think most people have a misconception of what human trafficking is. We've been talking a lot about it in our community, and most people think, like Noel says in his book, it's the movie Taken, and it's so far from that. It can be that, but that's so few instances compared to what all trafficking entails. And so fast forward about 6 months, was very fortunate enough to hear Tim Tebow share his testimony about how he got into trafficking. And he really kind of helped open my eyes to, wow, this is a really big problem. And due to the work that Tim Tebow Foundation is doing, it really piqued my interest, coupled with our employee and how can I better support and equip our employees. Those two combined got us to where we are today. And that is, where we're really trying to advocate in healthcare. We're not taught in school, but we have a goal with Ashley Chapman's Atlas crew to get this even into the schools. We've got to teach what we need to be looking for, because her data is showing that victims typically visit a healthcare facility between 15 and 18 times in a year before they're even like recognized as a victim, or
This
anybody's
is
even
human trafficking victims.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And maybe we could relook at the stats, but at least 15 to 18 times, I remember the stat, before they're recognized. So it might not be in the year, but they go to the clinic, in a clinic system of some sort, and we're not trained to think this could be happening, and these are why there's side effects. And that's where we've got to educate healthcare. There's so many components to this that my eyes have been open, even in the last 6 months. Man, we are missing a lot.
So, as somebody who owns healthcare clinics, help me understand, or help the listener understand, why is it important that you guys recognize the signs of human trafficking or exploitation in someone that may come in through the doors?
So I'll give you an example. You hate that the human brain even has to think this way, but
Mm.
we had an instance. We've got some signage in our restrooms. It's very simple. If you need help, if you don't feel safe at home, you have a lab pass through where you typically get a urine sample, stick it in the
Oh yeah.
door, and so people can discreetly write a note that they need help and stick it in the urine door where nobody sees it, except the lab person will get it on the other side.
Oh, okay.
We put up these signs in May, and I thought, first of all, it would
That's
take a while.
that's like what, 3 months ago now?
Yeah.
Okay, just
Just now.
timeline trying to
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'll back up and say we started our training back in November of last year, just at staff meetings once a month. We were doing our or human trafficking training. And then at one bathroom, I have 13 bathrooms I counted up. So I only put signage in 2 to test it. And in 1 month, I had 3 kids write a note, and we had to take action from those children. And the first instinct when you get the call, okay, there's been a note, and you ask the staff, hey, tell me about clinic yesterday or today, everybody says, oh, it was normal. It was just a normal day. But then you really have to start asking questions. And, oh, man, you know what? She's only 7 and she had on inappropriate makeup. Yeah, we need to dig into this. What's going on? Okay, so then you start to see, she's been seen for some bilateral knee pain. Why does she have knee pain? And the provider was thinking maybe anxiety is manifesting in there. Well, if you really dig a little further and deeper, honestly, STDs manifest in joint pain in children. Why do I have to think like this? And then we need to know, well, we need to test and we need to rule this out. But we're not trained to think in that pattern as of
Just
late.
go into med school,
Just go,
right?
yeah.
Like,
And yeah, why would you think the 7-year-old that happened to have too much makeup on, you're that a lot of times you're thinking they're playing dress up. But we're in a world now, a different world where we need to retrain, and at least I feel like it's my duty to rule it out. I need to make sure this is not happening.
right.
And so that's where I think the education is going to be so key for every healthcare provider in the United States. Because I told our local people, think about my stats. reported 3 kids, 2 bathrooms out of 13 bathrooms. Well, how many bathrooms are in my county? How many are in my state? How many are in the US? That we're missing out on just helping people. But where our staff, we had the hang up during this process was, what do we do next? I need like a step by step. What do I do? And we all get together. This is how you,
Process or a system.
yes, and who
Yeah.
to call and what to do in every scenario. And you and I are in a group together that are passionate about this. And when we got together and I'm explaining to a friend, okay, we've done this training and I don't know what to do next. Well, there's someone sitting at the table right over there who's come up with a solution and you need to meet them and talk to them. So sit at the
Nice.
table, and her name's Ashley Chapman, and she is an amazing woman who's done some awesome stuff and continues to. And so she goes, yeah, I've created this app just in time for a medical division. And I said, I want it. I want the app. And she's like, well, we haven't quite launched it. I said, I'll be your first. Let me be your
Nice.
first. Like, I will test it. We'll roll it out. We'll give you feedback. What's working, what's not. And in 3 months, they did a lot of work and turned this baby around, and we launched it 1 week ago. It has been awesome.
That's
So,
amazing. Yeah, so now you're doing tech like support, as it were, like referring. I know
yeah,
building a software product is a lot of work because you've always
yes.
got those design sprints where they're trying to tweak things and get them right, and just make sure that you guys are fully prepared and enabled to report the things that need to be reported and know what to look for, and at the same time, not you can't spend your whole day on this. I mean, to be efficient with your time, it's got to be something that works really well and doesn't distract your employees from all the other things that they're doing because they're serving, as you said, 1,000 people a week. You can't spend, unfortunately, that too much time with every single person.
That's right. And for them to have it is just available is so great. And the way that they built it was 2 platforms. One is community facing. So we have released this to our community, said this is free. Here's a resource for you. Here's how to access it, save it. And that gives them the information they need. But then we have a inward facing for our staff of our protocols, our step by step. The just-in-time team literally called every agency in our town to vet them. Did they call back? Were they efficient? Did they know who you were? And the people listed as our resources are the ones that we can trust, and they did all that work for us.
Nice.
It's a
That's
very big
amazing.
deal. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, tell us about how it's working so far. I mean, it's 1 week in,
One
um,
week.
and I'm
Yes.
already heard that there's some incredible stories.
Yes, hot off the press, and in 1 week, and it's a lot of training. A lot of people, like I said, when they say human trafficking, they're not thinking about labor trafficking, organ trafficking. You mostly think about sex trafficking, but we've had two. I hate to say success, but I do believe they're stories that are inspiring. And one of them, it was a family member who, once she heard the presentation and started putting together all these red flags, realized that a family member was being labor trafficked and
Oh,
just like text late last night about the whole situation and just thank you for the training. This opened my eyes. I put all the puzzle pieces together. I cannot believe this happened, and it's been happening for 7 months, and we realized what's happening now, and everything that Ashley taught in the training is true in that
mm,
situation. But last week I had an employee come in to my office, and she said, I just need to tell you this story. And she goes to a different town, so it was a different county, and gets this infusion. So she's sitting in the clinic and notices a situation that had just been discussed that Ashley was teaching about as well.
wow.
And it was a guy who's very overprotective of this girl who didn't have any identification. And they said she was 18, but she didn't look 18. And so our employee, because she's been trained now, knew she went up to that receptionist at that clinic and taught her how to ask the girl if she needs help. And when she said yes, they called the cops and they arrested the guy. And she was 15 years old. She did
Wow.
not know the address of where she was staying, but she could lead the cops to where she was staying. Oh, I get a little emotional, but when she got there, there were 11 other girls, and they were all under the age of 18. And, the cops could not believe it was like a brothel situation. I think their minds were blown at the situation that happened. So The cop ends up calling my employee. How did you know what to like? How did you recognize this? How did you know what to do? I'm just like floored. And she was so kind to say, our employer cares enough to train us. And I've been trained in this. And she goes, was it scary? Hell yeah. Like she was scared because she's like, you don't know who you're dealing with and who you're turning in. And honestly, I mean, I think she would allow me to say this. Her husband didn't want her to take action because he was kind of scared once he was realizing what was going on. And then later, when that happened that night, she said, he apologized and said, I am so sorry. I almost prevented you from doing the right thing. And I'm so proud of you. And you are so brave. And thank you so much. And so, I keep trying to communicate with our community. One, we have to educate that it happens here, it happens everywhere, what to look for. But two, we've got to empower everybody to speak up. And if you see something that's off, then you need to know what to do about it. And once you learn, you can't you can't just sit there and not do anything. And that's where I want us to all be, is just education and empowering.
No, that's incredible. I mean, what a awful story that
Mhm.
there's 11 like girls that are being like, held like
12,
that.
12 total.
12
Yeah.
total, right?
Hmm.
12
Hmm.
total.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's how amazing that you're like an employee of the company saw that and was willing to say something. I think for a lot of people, there'd be that, maybe even that fear, like, I just heard this. Am I really seeing what I just heard? If I say something, am I wrong? Is that going to look really bad? Like, just that fear of I could be getting it wrong. And yet she had the boldness and the courage to say something when she saw it. And how incredible that it turned out to reveal like so much. And I mean, Lord willing, every time people see something, like that, then they speak up, that they're able to, provide that kind of an opportunity where people who are in a traffic situation or exploited situation get the help they need, so that they can, get out of that situation and move into, rehabilitation and care and that. Um, yeah, just blown away. Um, Man, anything else, I mean, you've learned from this situation that you guys would say, I mean, I think one of the things that it's kind of shocking to me is you guys train this for your employees for your clinics. And yet this is happening somewhere else completely, where they're taking the knowledge and information and then using it. So obviously you've got y'all systems for if something like this happens at Allegro. Um, but it's incredible that it can be happening, anywhere.
Yes. And I think, to add to it, just as far as healthcare goes, we've also not been trained when you talk about, the victims and the recovery. It's not like you check on a form, I've been trafficked or sexually abused. That's not a normal healthcare practice. I think what I've learned personally too in the past couple of years is the trauma that happens and the long-term side effects it has on your body. And we have also not been trained to consider this with chronic diseases that, oh, this could be a manifestation of trauma from the past. And so I think there's a big educational gap there. And I know this sounds crazy, but a lot of dental issues happen to victims. And I don't think our dentists have been trained or our hygienists have been trained to think about that or look for that. But the more that I get in this world and talk to victims and understand and listen and learn, my mind is blown at just the way. There's a book out there, The Body Keeps the Score, and boy, is it rough on those victims. And so we've got to do a better job of noticing that as well and having treatment options. And there's a great therapy out there. It's called EMDR therapy that can help rewire your brain for trauma. Not everybody's a candidate, but for the ones that are, we just started it this year. We have a therapist who can do it. And I shared a post on Facebook or social about, we're now offering this. I had 3 people who I had no idea had past sexual trauma come up to me and say, Amy, I'm so grateful you're offering this to our community. I
Huh.
could not talk about my sexual trauma until after I did or completed EMDR therapy.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's three women that I've known and never would have expected any
Acted.
kind of sexual trauma. So there's a lot of educational gaps, even in the healthcare system, on this topic. But we're so thankful for companies like Altus and Just in Time and Justice U for coming together and working so hard to build us platforms to help educate healthcare for sure.
Man. And so, just a one follow up, if if there's other healthcare providers that happen to be watching, or listening to this pod, what would you say to them? Like, do you have a reference for them, place to go, website, that sort of thing, or that where they could find out more information or contact even y'all's clinics, as it were, to learn a little bit more about how you guys are deploying it? What would you recommend? Maybe you could put a little something. We could put it in the show notes, as it were.
Sure. I'll give you guys the QR codes. I think that Justice U is the educational platform that anybody can go to and access. There's some free things on there. And then anybody, I told them as well, anybody can use our Allegro clinics as a base and take
Hmm.
anything you want from it and work with the Just in Time team. They did all the hard work. I just provided a few things. You can copy and paste. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just want to get this education out to everybody. And then for those companies or healthcare that care about it like we do, purchase it for your clinic, the just in time, and make it
Hmm.
specialized to you so that empowers your people to know who to call and step by step what to do. And that would be my biggest advice is just start the education process now and then give them actual tools that can help them.
Yeah, and I believe that the just-in-time tools, if you Google search that, but I believe if you go to
Mhm. Yes,
engagetogether.com or altusnow.com, I think both of those would get you to
they can
those
lead you.
places that Amy's talking about. So, man, well, excited that
Mhm.
you guys are being a pilot, or a guinea pig, as it were, in this situation, willing to just you not experienced with it, suddenly find out about the story of one of your employees, get involved, and because it touches you personally, and then now taking these steps, more and more and more to engage and try to make a difference in this space. And I think for those out there who also might be listening, it's closer than you think, is what we constantly hear. It's closer than you think, and you have an opportunity to do something about it. So get the training. There's opportunities to get the training easily online now, and then learn how your company, your organization can be involved and being a part, just like Allegro Clinics is doing. So,
Yes.
Amy,
And
thanks so much. Oh, go ahead.
yes. Oh, no, I just wanted to give one more plug for Engage Together. I believe we need all 50 states to participate in this program. So you sit here and go, well, what can I do? Well, you can call your local politician and advocate. This typically goes through the AG office. Alabama just signed on. I've already made phone calls to Mississippi. But I believe that this product that Altus has created is one of the solutions to help all the agencies talk together and
Hmm.
help recovery go quicker. So we want to
Right.
promote them too.
Because you don't just need the rescue. I mean, you need you need the someone to see something, someone to say something, the collaboration with the law enforcement to actually make the rescue, get people out of the situation. Then you need the rehabilitation or recovery type place
Mhm.
to host and help for that next season. And it's not just a week. It can be months to years of like that
Mhm.
trauma informed, and then even companies that are starting to hire survivors
Yes.
out there. So it's a big system, and lots of people need to be involved together to help it to work well and to really get the support that these folks need after all the things that have happened. So,
Mhm.
no, good word. Uh, but if we all work together, I think there's a great opportunity to see the numbers in trafficking go down, and the people that are survivors and making a new life for themselves go up. And for that, we're excited. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks for taking the time being with us today. Appreciate the story, and just thanks for your continued efforts to make your clinic one that makes a difference in the lives of many people.
Thank you for having us.